when Triple H underwent the procedure, was there any chance his theme music hit and the doctor came in? Time to cut the game!
Oh, God. All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monty Nefaro, produced out of Indie Music TV. News this week, Paul Triple H Levesque is recovering after undergoing a heart procedure last week. Triple H underwent a successful procedure last week at Yale New Haven Hospital following a cardiac event. This episode was caused by a genetic heart issue, and Paul is expected to make a full recovery. Farrell?
Damn. You know what? You can answer this, unfortunately. With a guy that has a physique like Triple H, and he has a, what did they call it? A cardiac event.
Yeah.
Boy, it's that vague. I really don't know what that means other than something with the heart, obviously, but what? When you're a big dude and you lift weights all the time, I mean, how scary is this? I mean, how is he supposed to get back to...
It's not easy.
It's got to be
not easy.
difficult. Do you think he got it from exercise?
I said to my wife, I'm going, well, here he is, keeps himself in this great shape. And my wife said, look, Mike, come on, stop. The guy's been juicing and gassing since his early 20s.
I would say so.
And she's right, because the heart is a muscle.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that a lot of these wrestlers
be too happy that
have
muscle.
a very enlarged heart, right? Because just like their large biceps and pectoral muscles and their ankles and their legs, their heart is probably enlarged.
Boy, oh boy.
And
this man's not even...
look,
50.
and this is a guy who took care of himself, right? He didn't do drugs. He doesn't drink. He doesn't do any of that stuff.
Really?
That's
I wonder.
From everything I've heard.
Okay, that's cool. He never partied back in the day with the Clique. He never had a crazy night out. I bet you he probably did. He probably changed a lot of his ways once he started dating Stephanie and realized I'm going to be a McMahon. Not to make a joke of this, but I kept thinking to myself, when Triple H underwent the procedure, was there any chance his theme music hit and the doctor came in? Time to cut the game!
Oh, God.
It's just something I think about. I'm burnt. Farrell with the Coke. Too much Coke.
That is kind of. That is
I don't
kind
do
of
Coke, but
do you think the doctor comes out to his own theme music?
It's time to slice the game, and how you cut him. It's time to, who knows? Who the knows? I thought it was funny. I think he's going to be fine. I love Triple H. I'm a big fan of him, and I hope he's doing well. But I am worried about him. How's he going to continue to?
Phil Descare says out there's been a rash of bodybuilders in his age group that have passed this past month.
Not surprised.
Keith Rock says Vince has been poisoning Triple H.
NXT sucks, and you screwed up Raw, and now everybody's over at AEW. Have another meatloaf. What's he doing? What's he putting in it? Thumbtacks? I'll put thumbtacks in the meatloaf.
Phil just topped you. He said after Triple H woke up from anesthesia, he spit water out of his mouth.
This is...
Oh, my
God.
God.
You and I, Phil, we're in big trouble. Going down. Anyway.
In more news, whiny Mick Foley had to chime in on why he felt the need to release WWE We Have a Problem video.
Whiny Mick Foley.
Yeah, sure. Because he's a whiny.
I bet you he's about to say something intelligent. Go ahead. Tell everybody.
He was on Pro Wrestling for Life with Sean Waltman. And he tried to explain why he felt there was a problem.
Okay.
The only deal I have with the WWE is a Legends deal, Foley noted.
Right.
They do pay people to be consultants. And if I was being paid to be a consultant, I would say the WWE, we have a problem.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I want to say this, Mick Foley. The first problem is your son's a writer. So why don't they fire him, Dewey?
Is Dewey writing Raw?
I don't know what Dewey's doing, but since
'Cause if
Dewey joined the team,
if Dewey-
Dewey do wrong.
Yeah, if Dewey's writing Raw, Dewey be fired.
But, you know, thank you.
Dewey be fired.
Why isn't Foley making videos? Dewey be fired.
Yeah, man. Well, what do you expect him to? He's not going to do that.
And he goes on to say,
Hey.
I'm just putting myself in a place of a top-tier superstar
Okay.
who has a decision to make.
Right.
And I would look at how AEW has treated their recent acquisitions, and I would compare it to how the WWE has treated a few of their recent in development talent. And I would say, I don't know if I'd want to gamble to such an extent, and I'm willing to have everything I've done watered down and made a joke of.
Says a guy who went from Cactus Jack to putting a sock down people's throats.
Thank you,
Socko.
Sacco.
Making a joke. Well, it depends if the joke is
802
funny.
says Dewey Decimal.
Dewey Decimal Point.
Do you think Foley's like, Dewey, you done wrong tonight?
You know what I would do with
Did you
Dewey?
write that?
You know what I would do with Dewey since he's into decimal points? I would give him pi 3.14 and ask him to figure it out. As we know, pi goes in infinite. You can lock him in a room, and he'll never come
He'll
back.
never come out.
And he'll never write another script because he'd be trying to get the end result of pi.
It's pretty smart,
I
dude.
think that would be the way
That's
to go.
pretty smart.
Why not?
I still can't get the envisionment of Triple H waking up, spinning water in the
That's
doctor's
pretty
face.
good. That is with the big broom. It's time to play the game. That would be great.
But on a serious note,
yeah.
do you agree with Mick Foley? WWE, do we have a problem? I mean, look, let's play fair here.
Yeah.
Again,
play fair.
we discussed this. If I'm a wrestler and I've made my money already, why not go to AEW? Work once a week?
Maybe twice.
Make a couple of $1 million,
They do have
maybe
2 shows
twice.
now.
No, but that's recording the same time,
This is true.
right? So
Wow.
so maybe a pay-per-view.
Okay.
Or work for the WWE machine.
Right.
Which the WWE, by the way, infinite money if you do well.
Right.
AEW, not infinite money. Let's get
Sure.
realistic here.
Sure.
So, what do you do?
Well, I got to admit, I do understand what Mick Foley's getting at. I don't think that this was a dumb comment. I kind of agree with it, especially, and for you folks who tune in tomorrow night for This Week in Wrestling, you'll hear my spiel, which
Yes.
is on before SmackDown Friday nights. I got a huge problem with some of the things. Like, they wanted to make Adam Cole a manager. What are you doing? Get the out of here. Are you kidding me? Okay? Shinsuke Nakamura, while I am enjoying Rick Boogs, I'm enjoying it. I love it. I think it's great. Shinsuke Nakamura in New Japan was a bad mofo. Here, he's
It's character.
a character. He's just goofing around, and I understand. I get it. But Mick Foley's probably not the best guy to go, oh, you're making a joke of this, especially when you had Dude Love, who was a joke, okay, and you have Mr. Sacco, that's a joke.
And by the way,
and Mick Foley, but you got to be. It depends on the joke. If you got a good joke and your angle is funny and it works, like Foley's did, then it works. But he does have a point. Some of these guys have not been turned into anything.
I have a
so
standard
great.
rule of practice. Never
Yeah.
take business advice from a dude that has no teeth.
Wow.
So this is where it gets a little dicey. The fans are all weighing in what side they're on, right? The AEW side, and it's interesting.
Okay.
People always choose sides. I mean, this is the way we've always been, and
Yeah.
We do it in sports. And I
Iron
don't
Maiden
nec-
or Judas Priest.
There you go.
Come on.
Partridge Family or
Brady Bunch?
Brady Bunch.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you.
That's rough. Go on.
All right, so CM Punk was quoted, "To me, what's happening in AEW is bigger than the NWO invading WCW." CM Punk believes that the Impact names like himself, Daniel Bryan, and Adam Cole have created AEW bigger than several top WWE superstars that moved to WCW in the 90s. Thoughts?
That's ridiculous. Get the F out of here. Bigger than the NWO, huh? Bigger than when Scott Hall invaded Nitro, huh? Bigger than Kevin Nash and slamming Bischoff through it. Are you kidding me? The NWO. You're ready to proclaim that already, huh, CM Punk? And you know how I love my CM Punk, but sorry, CM Punk, this is not bigger than the NWO. Calm the F down, and can we let history play itself out before we make such ridiculous comments? Because right now, to make it right now is really ridiculous.
Well, Todd D. Beecalf has already drawn a line. He's already announced who he's chosen.
Okay.
He has chosen Judas Priest.
Yeah.
He's chosen the Brady Bunch
Interesting. I'm halfway with him.
and AEW.
I'm only a third with him.
All right, keep going, bro.
But what are you going to do? No, I just think it's just ridiculous. I don't think that it's even in the hemisphere as far as the NWO impact and all the things that led to the rating, the monstrous ratings. Can we get real? The numbers that were going on between, Stone Cold and Hogan and Goldberg and
Different times, be fair.
and-
People aren't
Stop.
watching TV, what they did.
No,
you have
they're
the internet
not.
and everything else. But
This
to
is
compare
awesome
him
what's
to
happening now,
10 million people
No.
watching both
No.
programs to,
No. What's happening over there right now does it compare to the late Saturday night's main event?
Oh, my
time
God.
With Andre and DiBiase and Savage and Hogan. Stop. Calm down. It's awesome what's
Stinger
happening.
says Punk sounds
down.
like that goof Meltzer now. Punk is getting a little stupid in his
I
comments,
agree with
right?
I agree with Meltzer the Goof. I absolutely agree with it, and that would be something Meltzer would say. So yes, that's a good comment. I agree with that.
Can I go through the list?
Yeah, you know
10
what?
to 1?
This list makes me laugh. Can I laugh at this
Yeah,
list?
well, weigh in as I go. Rich Swann, number 10.
Give me a break. He's one of the top 10 best wrestlers in the world. I don't care what calendar you show me. Get lost. Next.
Shingo Takagi? I don't even know that guy.
Takashi. Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm aware of him, and no, he's not in the top 10 either. Can I get a Kota Ibushi somewhere out there?
Why does he get number 9?
Because they have their stupid.
Agenda?
You think Meltzer's got an agenda? I don't know who's doing this nowadays, but Bill Apter's probably like, what on earth?
Bill Apter used to do that too, by the way. And we called him on it.
Yeah, we called
We
him
did
on it.
call him
But at
on
least
it.
he was doing Nick Bockwinkel over Bob Backlund.
Right.
Rich Swann.
By the way-
Rich Swann. Wait a minute. I don't see. There's so many people I don't see on this list. Rich Swann. Are you serious?
Because you got to give Impact.
You don't
some
got to
sort of
give
love.
anybody anything. You pick the 10 best wrestlers in the world.
But go back
Imagine
to that
that concept.
Apter interview.
Yeah.
So I love that interview. I thought he did a great job. I
awesome.
thought we did a great job.
He's a gentleman.
But when we challenged him
And a scholar.
on that,
Yeah.
he kind of was backpedaling. Am I right? Talk to me on that.
Look, we
Explain
were
to the fans what we were saying
Well,
to them.
back in the day, they always used to put the WWF a little less. Not always, but a lot of the time, a little less than NWA, and sometimes even AWA. And Bill's reasoning was as well: the territories were bigger, yada yada yada. And we were always like, "Bull, man! New York is the epicenter. Stop it." Wow.
Finn Balor, number 8.
All right, I'm not going to argue about Finn Balor,
Will-
but I don't think that he's had a top 10 in the last year to be in the top 10.
Will Ospreay, number 7.
Will Ospreay's effing great. I have nothing bad
I
to
see
say
you right
about-
there.
I have nothing bad to
Number
say about
6,
Will Ospreay. He's
Jon
amazing.
Moxley.
I have nothing bad to say about that either.
Kota Ibushi, you were just calling his name.
Well, that's what
number
I'm
5.
saying. Kota Ibushi, fine, but man, oh man, I can think of like so many others. Kota Ibushi's
Drew
amazing.
McIntyre, number 4.
Okay, all right,
Bobby Lashley, number 3.
good, fine.
And here's the challenge, guys. Weigh in out there if you can.
Roman over
Roman Reigns, Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Did PWI get this right? They get it wrong.
Wow. This is so difficult. Back in the day, a world champion who went into other areas and held their belts too, we would have been like, this is by far the most dominant wrestler in the world.
Yes.
It's funny how it's changed because, let's face it, those other belts really don't mean that much, the ones that Kenny was holding. I will tip my cap to AAA. I always will do that when it comes to Mexico. I do, recognize that. That's a serious title, the being AAA mega champion over in Mexico.
So you agree?
But when he's holding the TNA title, I don't think it really means that much nowadays. I really don't. They have no ratings. I don't even know where the damn show is half the time. People are like, where is
Fair
it?
enough.
The NWA is shriveled, to almost nothing. MLW is another small, modest thing. Ring of Honor, as legendary as they are, I give them so much props. Their title doesn't mean as much as it probably should. This is a tough one for me.
For me, again, I'm a WWE guy. I get it. But when I think of the world champion, the best in the world, the first guy that comes to my mind is Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I understand Omega travels, and I understand Omega's got probably a crazier or
Sick.
funner schedule.
Sick. Yeah.
But Roman Reigns is the man.
Well, if Roman Reigns wasn't going to be number one this year, when the hell is he going
Let's
to
play
be?
hypothetical.
You know, I mean, as far as his heel run.
But let's
you know,
play.
they're waiting for next year.
Let's play hypothetical.
Yeah.
I'm Vince, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give the fans what they want. Let's work with AEW a little bit. Let's do a super card. Roman Reigns, Kenny Omega.
Wow.
Does Khan bow down and say Reigns wins the match?
Neither of them will win the match. It's going to be just like it always used to be. Double DQ, double count out.
But I'm going to say
Harley Race,
Vince
Bob
says
Backlund,
Vince
Bob
says to
Backlund,
Khan.
Nick Bockwinkel.
Vince says to Khan, the only way this is going to happen is Reigns beats Omega.
Khan's not doing it. Say,
Wow.
you, Khan would say, go f yourself.
Wow.
He's a multimillionaire, too. He doesn't have to do anything Vince wants. I mean, and I'm not defending that decision, you know. To me, in this past year, I think I would give the edge to Roman Reigns, but that's because of caliber of competition. Always, you know, the WWE champion. By the way, folks, it's getting close. He's going to pass CM Punk soon, and that's on purpose. And that's going to look great, by the way.
I don't think it's done on purpose. I think it's just happening.
It's turning out to be that if you don't let him pass CM Punk, you're making a mistake.
Yeah, that you're right about.
Let him pass it and proclaim it from the top of the hills.
Tonight, we are going to witness the most anticipated match in the history of professional wrestling for the heavyweight championship of the world. Are you ready? Wrestling fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, from the capital city of the United States of America, Washington, D.C., ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
All right, it's head-to-head where we have the famous Bob Backlund in studio against Jimmy Farrow's top 3 favorite wrestlers. Mr. CM Punk, don't think this wasn't done by design. But first, Mr. Farrow will explain the rules of head-to-head.
All right, folks, we go through 5 categories, taking both wrestlers and putting them head-to-head. Category number 1, mic skills. Do you interest me or do I have to change the channel, go get a Swanson TV dinner? Do you interest me? Mic skills. Number 2, mat skills. Once again, are you Bret Hart or are you, give me a lousy wrestler, Mike. Give me anybody.
Give you anybody.
Yeah, like the Great Khali or something.
We'll go with Mustafa Muhammad.
Well, ooh, yeah, okay. You get the picture, folks? Number 3, overall influence on the industry. Do you agree with CM Punk, or do you think that it's hilarious that he's even comparing him to "What you gonna do, brother?" Having an overall influence on the industry, see Mr. Hogan. Category number 4, the back of the baseball card. What have you done? How many belts you've won? Did you ever own the briefcase? Did you ever win the Royal Rumble? Did you ever go over to Wrestle Kingdom and sell that out overseas? What have you done? What's on the back of your baseball card? Number 5, final category, the it factor. When I look at you, do I see something that makes me want to stay engaged? Or are you just drawing paint like some lousy podcasts in other states?
There you go.
What are you going to do?
There you go.
So there it is.
Shot fired.
That was not a shot. That was just a comment. Just a comment.
An
It was
evaluation.
a harmless, an evaluation.
All right, so who we got up first, brother?
Well, our first contestant, and I hate you, by the way, for doing this, because you do this all the time. You pick one of my favorite guys. You never pick one of your favorite guys, because you don't want your favorite guy to possibly lose to anyone. You pick one of my favorite guys, and you put him against a legend.
There you go.
So, today,
That's what it's all about.
opponent,
It's kind of in the AEW, WWE realm, though, right? That's why I wanted this, right?
If you say so, you were just looking for trouble and get a rise out of the Pharaoh. Our first contestant.
Farrell was angry today.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed when I saw this. Robert Louis Backlund. You mean Bob Backlund, born August 14th, 1949. Of course, he's retired at the given moment, but you never know. He may come back and put a chicken wing on the Pharaoh again. He is best known for his appearances, obviously, as WWF champion. He wrestled in the first run with them, 76 to 84. Held the belt for almost 6 years. I think it was like 5 years, 8 months and change or something like that. Very long run. And, of course, he returned in the early 90s, shocked the shit out of everybody, and won the belt again, which was just actually surprising as could be. So this is a two-time WWF champion and probably our favorite guest ever in the studio.
Absolutely.
The great Bob Backlund. His opponent tonight, CM Punk. Now, Mike put his birth name here, but I'm not going to read it. Born October 26, 1978, was CM Punk. By the way, he's born in October, just like the Pharaoh. Another reason for the Pharaoh to like him. Better known by the ring name CM Punk, because I did not mention his aforementioned name. This last sentence means Jack. Anyway, American professional wrestler, no kidding. Martial arts commentator. I must have missed that one. And we know about the former professional MMA thing that didn't do so well, but let's not get into that. Currently signed to All Elite Wrestling, obviously. He is best known, well, he's known for many things besides the pipe bomb, but he's best known for his 434-day reign, which stands as the 6th longest in title history for the WWE and the longest title reign in over a quarter of a century, this past quarter of a century. The great CM Punk.
All right, let's have it. Let's
right.
open up with mic skills. Pharaoh, Bob Backlund, or CM Punk.
This one's pretty easy. The mic skills clearly go to CM Punk, clearly. Not just for the pipe bomb, just for the fact that he's always been a great talker. This is not really that close. This is a blowout, in my opinion, in category number one. Now, that doesn't mean that Bob wasn't great at doing what he did. Bob was a great
Different
face.
character.
You know, when you look back in the old days and he's boring, he's this, he's that. No, he was actually very good at what he did. You know, he was a great face interview. I did love when he got angry a few times. He was excellent when he was angry. Bob Backlund angry is a good interview.
By the way, Davey O.B. says legends are born in October. You're a legend. Look at that. Did you know?
Yeah.
I will say this. Clearly, this is a blowout on this particular item.
I think he's got him on this.
But I want to give Backlund some credit for some very good interviews that I remember.
Sure.
So I don't want, like you said, he was good at some things. He just wasn't CM Punk. So yeah, I'll go with that. So CM Punk takes the first leg of this battle.
Yes, he
in
does.
Mike's skills.
How
Number
about-
2 is Matt's skills, buddy.
Yeah, why don't you go first on this one?
This to me is
Slam dunk the other way.
a slam dunk the other way.
I think so.
I will say that Phil is a good wrestler.
I don't know who you're talking
All
about.
right, CM Punk, I
you refer to him as
apologize.
CM Punk. Thank you.
Backlund was a better wrestler.
He was.
His
He was.
matches were better.
I don't know about that.
His storytelling was better in the ring.
I don't know
well,
about that
you're
either.
gonna weigh it. So
Okay.
I'm going to give Matt's skills a blowout to the former two-time world champion Bob Backlund.
Fair enough, fair enough. I also do give the mat skills to Bob Backlund. I have several reasons. Besides the obvious, he was a national champion, so obviously the guy was a great wrestler just from scratch, just from the get-go. But also the technical ability in the ring. Bob Backlund was a magician. Amazing, amazing mat wrestler. Without Bob Backlund, I'm not sure if we get some of the guys we got later on. Bob Backlund was tremendous. CM Punk is an excellent in-ring wrestler. Excellent in-ring wrestler. And for his time period, one of the best. Bob Backlund's got him beat. I have to go with Bob Backlund here. So
right,
I
so-
think we got ourselves a draw so
So
far.
right now, 1-1. Overall influence in the industry, Pharaoh.
CM Punk. To me, this is not close. The reason why we have all these wrestlers today doing what they're doing is from CM Punk. The pipe bomb, when he sat down on that stage, it initiated a lot more than freedom of speech. It initiated a wrestler's freedom of thought and taking that thought to action. Everything has changed because of a guy like CM Punk. And we are feeling it today.
Would you
we
say
felt
that
it this week.
Would you say the non-wrestling fan, if you talk to him in the street,
and
said
they know
Bob
who
Backlund,
Punk is
CM
over Bob
Punk?
Backlund.
See, I'm not so. I'm not so sure about.
They know. They know who Punk is.
The issue, I think, on this particular is
influence on the industry.
Yeah. So Backlund, in his day, had a huge influence on the industry.
I don't agree. I feel that Bob Backlund was carrying the torch for traditional professional wrestling, and Hulk Hogan gave it a leg drop, and that was the end of that. That's how I look at that. Hulk Hogan gave that sucker a leg drop. See ya. Bob Backlund became, and it wasn't fair and it wasn't right, but Bob Backlund became a fart in the wind so fast, and Hulkamania was here. The end.
I originally was going to go with Backlund on this, but after your Hogan analogy, I'm going to go with Punk. So we're both in agreement. 2-1 Punk. Back of the baseball card.
This one
you better not.
Well, you can better not me all you want, but it goes something like this. There are only, in 60 years of the WWE, there are only 19 Grand Slam champions. CM Punk is one of them. He has held the world title for the longest reign in the last quarter century. His reign back in those days would have been 5 years. It equates that way because in his day, Punk's time as champion, no one's holding the belt for 434 days. They're not even holding it for 43. But not him. Not him. He held it for 434 days, week after week after week after week. The only reason he didn't get a main event WrestleMania is because Hunter is a... Punk has held the world title, as I said, record-breaking, quarter of a century, longest thing. Intercontinental champion, United States champion, tag team champion, ECW world champion, Ring of Honor world champion. This guy's going to be AEW world champion soon, at some point. What more do you want from the guy? However, this is where I must defend Bob Backlund. I must. 5 years. 8 months.
Second longest reigning champion.
Second longest reign in the history of the company. This is where I hate doing this, but I'm going to do it. This is a draw. To me, this is a draw. I will not go against the guy who's won the Grand Slam and had the longest reign in 25 years, nor will I go against the guy who's got the second longest reign after Bruno Sammartino. I can't do it. I think it's even. And that says so much for Bob Backlund's reign.
I think that almost goes back to when we put Chris Jericho against Bruno Sammartino.
Right.
But the back of the baseball card, I believe that we chose Jericho, now the most intercontinental titles in history ever.
Yeah, we chose Bruno.
Right, we chose Bruno.
Because Bruno had almost 12 years as champion during his 2 reigns. Bob had 5 years, 8 months. The second reign lasted 3 days.
I'm going to go with the 5 years, 8 months over all of the accolades that CM Punk has back of the baseball card.
Okay.
Different time, right? Different era.
Right.
Get it? I don't want to punish Punk for that. But on the other hand, let's remember, 5.5 years selling out Madison Square. I don't care what anyone says. Right, so we still got 2-1-1.
Yeah, we got
right,
2-1-1.
and then we got 2-2.
Right.
All right, the It Factor.
Punk. That's not even close. That's not even close. Punk's It Factor is just like Jericho. Punk's It Factor is just like any superstar out there. CM Punk has a huge It Factor. Bob Backlund was Bob Backlund. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to It Factor, I'm sorry. This is not a contest, this particular category. I hope you feel the same way on that one. I know you're not the biggest Punk fan, but this is
I can't disagree with that.
All right.
I can't disagree with that. Like I said, I had this a little closer than you did.
Yeah, that's okay.
We'll give it to Punk. Punk's the winner. Pharaoh, any parting words?
Just that it's been another great week for pro wrestling, and whatever side you choose, why don't you think like the Pharaoh does? I choose wrestling. We all win with this. We got 2 great companies now going head-to-head and giving us something to talk about, giving us exciting matches every week. You really couldn't ask for much more, folks.